Hey everyone, so I'm back again. I have bare root strawberries that I ordered from Burpee. I got 22, I think, for $25. They sent 26. They always send a little extra, which is kind of nice. Not always, but they did this time, and I noticed that they've done that before, just to see if some take and some don't. So the type of strawberry that I got are Seascape strawberries. I'm gonna be planting them from bare root and just showing you guys how I do this. I've done some research. I've had strawberries in years past, but like you know in my previous videos, we've moved, and I'm just trying to reestablish the plants that my family prefers and that we eat in the summertime. So one of those fruits is strawberries. We like to make smoothies from these. Berries are really good in smoothies. My kids like to eat them raw. I was gonna say my daughter, but my son likes them too. And like I said, this variety is Seascape. I got 25. Seascape is an ever-bearing strawberry, so it will bear fruit all season, whereas some of them only bear in June and then again in like a later month, or only bear once and they get them all at one time. So it just depends on what type of variety works for your needs. Like this variety will work for me because I like to pick and eat them fresh. I could freeze some, but I like to make smoothies and stuff like that, so that works for us. But other people I know like the one big batch and get them picked, get them frozen, and then they use them all year long, and that works for some people too. So it just depends on what works for you. So I'm gonna put these in the soil that I mixed up also in a previous video. Maybe we can put that here. I don't know about this YouTube thing, man. I'm just winging it, okay? So I've got my seed start soil. I've read that you shouldn't put the bare root strawberries in a pot smaller than 4 by 4. So I had just had some, like I said, from years past. My mom planted some trees recently, so she had these I took from her. These are from different nurseries that I've just kept, and these are from like my big box store where I've gotten flowers some years. So these are pretty deep, maybe 10 inches. So I just filled them about halfway with my seed start variety, which, like I said, is in another video. It's 1 part coconut coir, 1 part compost, 1 part topsoil, 1 part peat moss. And I use the peat moss simply because it helps with acidity in the soil. My soil is very alkaline, my water is very alkaline, and strawberries and fruit-bearing plants like it acidic. So yeah, I'm gonna get started. Here we go. Okay, so like I said, my variety is Seascape strawberry. It is an ever-bearing fruit. I got them in the starts. They look like this. I did get them in a big bundle wrapped in a rubber band, and I researched a little bit. It said that for starts, the best thing that you should do is soak in water for at least 1 to 2 hours or overnight. I did end up soaking these overnight, so I started them yesterday at 6, and it is about 1 o'clock now, so they've been soaking for quite a while. Just in a small bowl of water here, like this. And yeah, so it helps the roots rehydrate and doesn't make it so they're starved for water when you plant them in the pots. I've also read that like you should keep the part where it starts to turn green above the soil level. Ignore my dirty fingernails, I've been planting today, but above the soil level, because they are prone to rot if you plant them too deep. So I'm gonna plant them right where the roots end, keep them up nice and high, so that hopefully all of them set. I am gonna put them in these pots, and then I'm gonna end up transferring them to a in-ground garden bed once I get that set up. But because it's March and we're still having some cooler weather here, I don't want to risk putting them in the ground and then losing them, because these are good for temperatures like 35 degrees to 85 degrees or something like that. They'll bear fruit, and we have had some colder weather at night still, so I'm gonna keep them just like that. I'll show in a pot with some soil that's closer to the top how I'm gonna plant them. Like, these have really good root systems. I'm surprised, truly. I know it's hard for some of us tomato gardeners that want to plant all the way up until where the leaves start, because you want it to grow and develop a good root system. That's what I'm used to planting tomatoes, that you plant those puppies deep. Even when the stem is this long, you plant that whole stem so that the stem itself grows roots and they have a good root system to grow on when you put them in the ground. But with strawberries, I guess we don't do that. So hopefully what I'm doing works out. And you can see here kind of, I've left all of the green above the soil line. So that's how you're supposed to do it. We'll see how that works. Here we go. Now there are some that look better than others, okay? So like this one looks great. This one looks a little straggly. So we'll just see what works and what comes up. Like I said, I got a few extra, so maybe I'll get lucky. So what I'm doing is just digging a really deep hole with my fingers. As you can tell, I'm digging all the way about up to here. And then taking the roots, making sure the entire root system is placed in the bottom, and then just mashing down and filling to that line that we talked about earlier, because I want it to be nice and tight around it so that when I water, the water doesn't pool up and make the dirt touch the crown so that it rots. I want it to be nice and tight in there. Now strawberries like about 6 to 8 hours of full sun, so I'm gonna put them on the side of my house that's facing south. I do have some shade coverage in that area in the evening, so I think that'll be a good place for them. And I'm gonna try like a plastic, I'm gonna mound it a little bit, put some plastic down, and then when they start to run and stuff, I'm gonna put straw over the plastic this year and see if that works. I've read a little bit about that, so I'm not sure how it will go. But like I said, trial and error here, just doing my research, what I think is correct, what I feel is appropriate, and going with it. So we'll see. And I'm just kind of along for the ride. All right, so that's it. Like I said, strawberries, there's different varieties of strawberries. The one that I got is the one that's an ever bearer. It will bear all season long, just what works for you. They like acidic soil. The seeds, or the starch, should be above the crown, or else your crowns will rot, and then the tops will rot and it will cause the plant to die. So just be mindful how you're doing that. I'm gonna put these in the greenhouse until it's warm enough. Probably after our last frost, I'll put them in the ground, and then hopefully in the greenhouse. There's a big temperature fluctuation in the greenhouse I've noticed recently, which just makes it hard to keep seedlings in there. So my seedlings are in the grow tent, but the greenhouse gets a little colder at night because we're still in the 30s and 40s at night, and then it gets really warm in the daytime, up to 70s and 80s, because I mean, we're in North Carolina, it gets warm in the day, and then the greenhouse gets hot. So that's my struggle right now. So hopefully these will be okay in there. There is a small heater in there that tries to keep it in the 70s at all times, but it really struggles at night. So we'll see how these do, and I'll meet you back here next time.